Hello and welcome to another Rust Locker video. What's going on, guys? I am working on the van today. Something that a few people have requested, and that is ever since I did the front bumper removal video, which has been quite a popular video, people have been asking me to do a rear bumper removal video. So that's what I'm working on today. I'm going to show you how to take the rear bumper off of your Vauxhall Combo van and put it back on, I suppose. So let's get to it. Right, so I'm skipping out the Combo Mods intro, because it's not really a mod or a fix. Educational purposes, I suppose. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is remove the rear light clusters. Kind of like so. Right, so here you'll see this this plastic cover. You want to just unclip that, and then you can get to your rear light clusters. So now that you can get to your rear light cluster, you want to unclip the wires, and then you can see here there are two little white grommet things, and you can just about undo them with your fingers, although these are pretty tight. Okay, I might have to get a tool on those. They do have a hex head end there that you can get a socket set onto, so I'm going to undo those. So they're 17mm with a hex head bit. Once you've undone those, the light will just slide out from the front, so if you're worried at all, you might want to get someone to just hold the light in place while you undo it, stop it falling forward, but I think they do stay there by themselves quite well. Shit. And if you drop it, it's bad news because it falls down there. Anyway, so now around to the front, and then kind of just ease out like that. And here you can see it's one of those little plastic pin push grommet things. All you want to do is just gently ease the pin up and out, and then you want to get this bit out as well. Okay, so that's stage 1 and 2 done. Then you want to come around to the side wheel trim or arch trim, and underneath here, one there, and I also loosened one there. There are little plastic bolts that are holding that trim in there. So I got my small ratchet, just managed to get it up in there and undo those little plastic bolts, and that enables you to pull this trim out a little bit, and as you can see, that's where this back part is attached. So you want to undo that on both sides, and then for the next bit you want a T20 Torx bit. I get down here where the wheel arch comes down here. Right there is a T20 Torx bit screw. Now, if like me, you use your Torx bit and it completely rounds off the inside of that, now you're in for some more fun, because we have to try and get this out without using the Torx bit, and we'll have to replace it with something afterwards. The most quick and dirty method to fix that is in fact to just snip the plastic snip the plastic there where the screw is so that it can split between it and pop out. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of explaining that. Right, next job is to go back to the back of the van, and there are some more Torx bits along this inside trim piece, and you want to undo all of those, at least these 6. I'm not sure about this one here, I'm going to undo it just in case anyway, and then we can lift this part up to get to the top of the bumper. Okay, so we've got all of these Torx screws out, and as you can see they're quite long, so it is fairly tedious to get those out with a socket. But once I've done those, and I also did this one here, this little piece here, so that sort of wiggles out, and then you can see that we can lift this whole piece of trim up like that, and look at the state of this, look at that. So I think I'm going to get the brush out and give this a bit of a clean. Because that is crazy. Okay, so that's a bit better. So now the next thing you need to do is get back underneath the van. As you might be able to see there, and in there, and in there are these little pin push clips again. You need to get all of these out. There's actually 5 of these pins. No, 6. So you've got 1 right at the end there, 3 along the middle zone where your spare wheel goes, and 2 on the other side of the exhaust, 1 there and 1 there. So once you've got all those pins out from underneath the black part of this bumper, you've undone the bolts that go in there to attach the arch trim. You've undone the trim along there with the 7 Torx screws, and you've undone these little pins behind the lights. Now what you want to do is you want to kind of just wiggle this out a little bit, and you'll hear it pop. And then go around to the other side and do the same. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get round to the side here and kind of just wiggle and pull, going carefully, because these fasteners in there are held in only by these plastic lips. So just want to wiggle and pull very gently until it pops off like that. That's one side. Okay, so now that we've taken the rear bumper off, you can see a bit more clearly where the attachments go. You've got these kind of rubber clips, I suppose they're plastic, which slot inside these grooves here. We've got that bolt there, which is there. Don't know how well you can see this on camera, but that's that's the main bolt that you want to undo, but you also probably want to undo this one and maybe loosen one of these just to give yourself a bit of space there. Here are where the Torx bits go that are a pain in the arse, and mine rounded off, so I've had to break that a little bit, but I'll work out another way to get that fixed. At the end of the day, if you can get all of the other trim clips and things on, one missing somewhere isn't going to be too much of a big deal because it's attached in quite a few places. That's what it should look like if you withdraw it properly. So yeah, there we go. So now we get to put it back on. Now putting the bumper back is obviously the same but in reverse. The thing you want to watch out for is that this plastic part of the bumper actually sits inside a lip there, and obviously you want to make sure that that lines up with the lip and that you're not trapping any of this rubber seal in between the bumper and the bodywork. And that goes inside the lip there like that. And then it's just a case of sort of wiggling it and pulling it until you get these grommets lined up with the holes there, and then can get this screw back through that hole. So as you can see, I've still got a little way to move this whole bumper part up, but once you have got that lined up like that, and that is almost lined up, then a bit of a leap of faith and give it a little bash, and they should pop back on those grommets. And then you should be able to get this screw back in there, but I can't do it one-handed. Okay, so I've got this lined up and pop those bolts back in. Now, as you might remember if you've seen my removal of the front bumper, that the little bolts to attach to the screws underneath the wheel arch there are actually made of plastic, so be prepared to break some. They're not very good. One way that you can help avoid that is by getting a 6-pointed socket rather than the 12, and that just makes sure it sort of grips it a little bit better on each side. So then you've got to fiddle with those to try and get those back up and tight inside the arch there. Okay, and then you just got to whack these little pin things back in. So they won't go in. Just give them a little bash with something. There we go. Slide the lights back in. Do these up. Like I said, make sure you don't push them out and smash them on the floor. So either do them up really carefully or hold them with your other hand, which is what I'm not doing because I'm holding the camera with my other hand. So I'm just going to go really careful. They're done up nice and tight. Remember to reattach the wiring harness, and then make sure you go and check your lights and your indicators, your reverse lights, fog lights, etc., to make sure they're all still working, you haven't damaged something. Put these little thingamajigs back. And then obviously you want to get underneath here and put all the little plastic pins back underneath the bumper here. Reattach your mud flaps if you've disconnected those, and that is pretty much it for a rear bumper removal.